Good morning, everyone, and welcome to IBC 2024. We are live from hall number 7, booth 7A27 at RAI Amsterdam in Amsterdam. We would like to welcome all of you who's present here as well as watching live. We have a great lineup ahead, of course, starting with Andy Needham. Before we start the presentation, we would like to thank our partners. We have Zenslab, Wacom, Apple, Dell, HP, who have provided us the hardware to show the stuff so you can check it out. We also have the ZBrush for iPad booth on the left over there, so post the presentation you can check that out as well. Now, talking about artists and Andy, we have Andy, who's a senior freelance motion designer who's based in London. And he will be talking about his workflow using Maxon Studio, which is a part of Red Giant. And I'll let Andy take it ahead from here and talk about his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Hello, everybody. My name's Andy Needham, and welcome to the Maxon booth here at IBC 2024. I want to give a thanks to Maxon for having me out here, and thanks to the team for putting it together, this event. I got to thank my wife and daughters for, their support and allowing me to come to these events as well. So a big shout out to them. Thank you. But yeah, as Karan said, I'm a freelance senior motion designer based in London. I've been working in the industry for over 20 years now. And before we get into the presentation, I'll just share my current reel. So I'll give a thanks to my buddy David Franz as well for allowing me to use his music on the reel as well. So without further ado, let's go. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I'm also an established trainer. I've been teaching motion design for over 10 years, starting on lynda.com back in the day. That turned into LinkedIn Learning, and I've also created content for Grayscale Gorilla and School of Motion. And most recently, part of the new update to Cinema 4D Ascent, which EJ Hassenfratz is his course, but he asked me to do a bonus lesson on the new particle system in Cinema 4D, and I just got carried away. So if you get this course, there's like over 2 hours of training as a bonus just on C4D particles, which is kind of like the normal stuff I'd be talking about. I'd normally be in Cinema 4D, the comfort zone, having a good time there. But today, I'm talking about something new, something relatively new in the Maxon One collection of software, and that's Maxon Studio. And I guess anyone, show of hands if you've heard of it, or have you used it before? So this is going to be interesting for you, right? So I guess, you may want to know what this new tool is. The actual Maxon Studio is a part of like a plugin that you'd install into Adobe After Effects. And so within that, it is like the interface for browsing and applying and making adjustments to capsules. And a capsule is a term that Maxon use a lot now. You can probably, if you've used Cinema 4D, there's capsules there in the asset browser. And to me, like a capsule, kind of like, you think like a time capsule or something. You put something in a box, and then you can store it away for safekeeping at a later date. But it's like something that encapsulates the tools of the host environment. So in the context of After Effects, that can be layers, effects, transformations, text, things like that, all that kind of stuff. And underneath all of this is this really powerful template engine. So that's kind of what it is. And for me, it's kind of like a cross between Mogurts and actual templates, but without like the clutter of going in and going into the effects panels and all that kind of stuff. And also it's available in After Effects as well. So you're not like sending it to Premiere to use or stuff like that. So the cool thing that's recently been changed or added is the ability to make your adjustments and then save them as a preset. So you can reuse them across projects, which is super powerful. And we'll be taking a look at that. Let's do it. So here we are in After Effects. And I have Maxon Studio open, and I'm kind of wary to close it down because we're on an internet connection here at IBC, and it's pretty weak. So what I'm going to do is just show you where you can find it. So if you come over to Window, and you look down here, there it is, Maxon Studio, right? There's also a way of calling it up, which is really handy, using a keyboard shortcut. And I've remapped mine to Control and Space. But you can change it to pretty much whatever you like, I guess. Yeah, so there's some customizable settings that we have here. And at its heart, we've got this little browser thing, which we can pull off, hold Control or Command to pull off the tab. And then we can maximize this window. And you can see how responsive it is as well. So it's just going to adapt to the screen that it's playing on. So all these little template things, well, all these things here are called capsules. And you can see the flag is a new addition, and it's a very good example of the preset system, because you can see just from this one capsule, all these different flags can be made. So let's just talk about, briefly, what we're going to do with, say we've got an existing project that we have, this little thing going on here, right? And I just wanted to add another element just to give it a bit of something extra. Now, I'll probably come into Maxon Studio, and I'm going to look at, there's all these different categories over the top. So we can organize based by text, or if it's just a specific motion graphics element. There's effects that you can add onto footage, even transitions between shots, which is really useful, and background elements and things like that. And then we've also got a category for VFX and chill, a specific creator, and I guess in the future there'll be more things like that. But I'm going to go back to all capsules and just show you that we can filter using this menu here. Now I've got a few that I've favorited. You do that by just going over to the heart and just clicking on it, and it gets added to your favorites. And so if I scroll down to a couple of these, maybe I want this one, because it's like these speed lines, so I can turn them into speed lines if the pacing isn't quite right. And so what I need to do is just click Apply. So I will apply that, and it's just going to add it to my current composition that I had selected. And another thing to note is if this was HD, it would be an HD comp. If it was 4K, it would adapt itself to 4K. So really, really flexible. So what I can do now is just bring this down here, right? And this is OK, but it suddenly doesn't fit the color scheme. So what are we going to do to change that? I can come in and just click on Edit, and I get this really handy, user-friendly panel, which is organized into groups that make sense to me. So the adjustment of thickness, this is for the thickness of the lines. So I don't want them to be that thick, but maybe I'll just put in 12. And then what I'm going to do is adjust the colors. But I've already got my brand colors over on this layer here. So I'm just going to lock this, and we'll lock it up here. And then we'll come back to here so we can see it all working. And I'm just going to click in here, and it's a familiar Adobe After Effects color picker. So I can just come over and just pick from these colors. And there we go. Just add a few. All right. Oh, got the old eyedropper not giving me love right now, but here we go. Now I'll just add the last one. So now it seems to it's all fit within the current setup, right? So this is good, but these lines aren't very fast. They're not fitting with the feeling of this composition. So no worries. I can just time remap this. So I'll just come to the end here, and I've already figured out that I want to set this to about 450. So I'll do that. And then when I play this through, I've now got this extra element. Maybe that's a bit too strong. I can just come in, as I would with any other After Effects layer, and just reduce the opacity. There could even be a control within the capsule to do that. But It's just it depends on the author, I guess, of who's going to build it. But yeah, so now we've added like an extra element, and they're zipping along, and it feels pretty good. So what about if I want to keep this setup and reuse it again? So I come to the capsule here, and there's these 3 dots, and it says Save as Preset. So I'm going to take this, and I'll just call it red, or red lines or whatever. I'll save it as a preset, okay? And just so we can see now, let's just revert everything back to what it was. And here, and you can just do that really simply just by reversing everything. And what I can do now is just come in, find my preset, which I've just made, and apply it, and it's done. So, really handy, and I think that's a really powerful feature. You can then just do this as many times as you need, different color schemes, different capsules, just tailor them to however you want them to be. So, yeah, let's come back and talk about some users, typical users of Studio. So certainly editors, maybe people that are not too familiar with the software, like with After Effects, that just don't necessarily want to dive into compositions and stuff. You can do it all within that Studio interface. It's really user-friendly from that point of view. But then you've got the curious ones, the intermediate levels, or the ones that have the After Effects skills, but maybe they're not super technically inclined, like the next level down, which is like the ones that love to get in and do scripting and all the advanced stuff like that. So there's different use cases. I see the last one being more for the future, and we're going to get into something which is a sneak peek of what's coming. And it's super exciting. So what I want to do is just back up a level. We're going to go to intermediate style and talk about maybe making something from scratch that, that feels cohesive, right? So we're going to take a few capsules and just put something together like this. And let's do that now. So back in After Effects, I'm going to open up this file. And let's not save that. We'll just open this new one up. And I'll open up my layout, and I've got Studio docked over here. And again, it worked. Internet's doing good stuff for us today. Hooray. All right. So this is, let's just make this a little bit bigger so you can all see. So this is typically like the goal. Okay, we'll try and get somewhere around here. But as we're just doing a quick demo, let's just see where we get to. So I'm going to make a new composition. This one's just going to be HD, and I'll press Enter. And let's have a look. I've already got these favorited, so I'm just going to quickly skip there. And so let's grab this first one. All right, so I'm going to apply this to, so I can click here to add a new instance of this capsule, because Studio already knows that I've got a version of this inside the project already. That's why it's saying edit. Do you want to edit this? Like, which one do you want to edit? Okay, so that you can easily do that. Or you can just jump into the Edit tab here and work in that way. So you can see all the capsules that are part of this. Now, to save myself a little bit of time adjusting colors and things like that, I'm going to apply a preset. So this is my dark purple preset. And that's saved me some time here. And also filled in the text for me as well. So I'll scoot this along, and I'm going to grab another capsule. So back into the discovery page. In my favorites here, let's grab this sweet spot title. And we'll add an instance of that as well. So then what I'm going to do is edit this version. And you can see down here I'm in this one. If it's all getting a bit cluttered, or not, you're not really sure which one is which, because they're named very similarly, we can just rename this. So we can call this, demo title, right? Did I spell that right? It's very small. All right, demo title, whatever. It looks good. So you can see it's updated right here in the comp as well. So super easy to stay organized. We've got this sweet title here. Let's just come in and add my dark purple colors, right? And it's already filled out the text for me. So this is getting somewhere. And then let's just cut that off at that point. So we want to basically go from one to the other. Let's do that with a transition. I'm going to come in here now and find a transition that I like. So there's various ones. Let's just go for this one that sweeps us across. So I'll add that to my comp. And it's really handy here that we've got this transition point. So it tells us exactly where to put this out, and we're going to put it right here. Let's just zoom in a bit. So at that point, we're going to switch from one to the other. So we can just come out and resize this a bit. And let's just play through, see what we've got. So it comes in, and then swoosh, we're zooming over to the next one. Okay, so we can tidy this up in a number of ways. We could probably cut this off, make it a bit more snappy, but let's just bring that in. And now I'm going to show you something that a capsule that I've created, which is in my user-generated category here. And it's just a really simple bullet point. All right, so capsules can be as complex as you want them to be, like full-page motion graphics, whatever. But we also have the ability just to create something really simple and just use them as building blocks over and over again. So why don't we just add a bullet point here? And just to save myself a bit of time, I've already filled out these, so I'm going to just come over to the edit page here. And we can load my point one preset. And then from here, I can just duplicate an instance or apply a new instance directly from here as well, really fast. So I'll take the first one, which is just here. And let's move it over, because it's just going to come in once this is animated in. So there we go, 1. Let's move it over a bit, so it's just maybe in line over here. 2. That needs to just come down. All right, and then I'm going to apply my point 2 preset, right? 1, 2, and then we'll grab another one. So we'll add another instance. And let's just already change the preset while we're here. And bring it over. And I'll bring it down. Okay, so let's just see where that lands. Not very good. I'm just going to move it over like so. And you would figure this out. You'd get all the positions right and make it lovely, but we're just working fairly quickly. So we've got that all in now. And if you want to, again, just time remap these so they last for the whole duration. I'm just going to go in and do this. Let's just do that. And I'm going to copy this setup like so. Boom. OK. Let's just get rid of this last one. And this one. All right, so we should have them all now just lasting for the whole duration. And the only thing for me there's a few things, but let's just talk about the big thing, right, is the inconsistency in the fonts going forward here. So let's just take a look at the first one, which is the title. So going back to that inquisitive mind or whatever, if it's something that you can't change within the capsule, it's After Effects. So we can just go straight into the composition and just do all the stuff that we know what to do anyway, right? Come in here, change the font. All right, we'll grab that one. Maybe take off this, make it a bit smaller. Just do some regular stuff that you're used to it and just tailor it to what you need it to be. And then for our next one, let's just do the same thing. We'll take this, which is the title, change the font. Okay, and we want to take off the tracking. That looks all right. It's good enough. And then I'll take off the tracking for this one and just give it a different font, right? All right, so from there, we've done our own customizations beyond what we could do within the capsule, but it's all doable. And in the end, we have ended up with like a little piece here that didn't take too long to put together. And we've just built it from all these reusable templates and stuff. So really, really quite powerful stuff. So you're probably asking, like, I've just shown you a capsule I made. You're thinking, well, when can I create my own capsules? It's not quite ready yet. And this is why, like, I'm going to show you a few bits in the creation process, but it's not been sort of Maxonified yet, right? So there's a few things that are a little bit frustrating, and there's a few restrictions as well on what you can do. So there's a few more than this, but these are some of the important ones for me. Like, you can't add shape layers at the moment, so I've been thinking of creative ways around that with solids and various null objects and stuff like that. You can't have custom interface elements, which was like, I was a bit surprised at one point because I was trying to do something with 3D stroke and wanted to change the color of the stroke, right? but it's a custom interface, so we can't have that right now. But I'm sure these things will all be fixed. And another big one is no external assets, so we can't have our own videos in there yet, sound, image files, things like that. But there's workarounds for most things. So yeah, when it works, it was awesome, right? And I was so excited to try the build that they let me try. And it gave me like this additional, well, I like rigging stuff together anyway and sort of doing a bit of coding. And not that I'm like especially good, but thank you to the internet for its help in that manner. So, but one of the things that was recently added to the build that I got to test was this linked parameters and slider limits. Now, think of from Cinema 4D, I'm thinking, oh yeah, set driver, set driven, that kind of thing. And if you've ever made a capsule in Cinema 4D and you've gone into Node Editor, you can do all that kind of stuff, setting limits. And this is awesome because it allows you as a creator to keep the design within the thresholds, that don't break it. Because like a glow effect could go up to like 10,000 units or something. You may only want to limit that to a certain amount. So let's talk about something like this, where we've got glow effects on the plus symbols here, and we're just hooking up one of these and then controlling all of them. So we're going to make a capsule. All right, so let's go into here. Oh, wrong one. OK. Yeah. It knows that we haven't got anything in here, so it's saying, hey, have a look at some capsules. They're pretty good. Right, so we have this animation that we want to turn into a capsule. So this is the process that I'm going through currently. You put it all into its own composition, and then put it within another one, so that when you apply this, it just comes in as one comp rather than hundreds of layers or whatever, right? So it looks nice and neat. So we've got our message here. And then this is something that you will not have. This is just a sneak peek, a bit of alpha, really. But we have a create page. And I'm going to create the capsule. It's going to say, well, where am I looking? And if you've got that wrong, you can just move to the comp that you want to look at and hit refresh. So we're going to create the capsule. And the first thing we have is a little group here. And it's going to ask you to drag and drop some parameters. So then what I would do next is go into my composition here. And we could say, well, I'm looking for the glow effect, and I know that the word is amount. So I'm just going to search for that. And on optical glow, we have this amount here. So I'm going to drag that in, and it's giving me the sliders. Now, whatever value is set here within the comp, that's going to be the default. So you get all your comp designed right, and it will look exactly how you've designed it. It's not going to change. But the way to allow the user to change it and give them limits is to come over here and edit. So we can call this like glow amount, maybe, right? So we can change the name. And look at that, 10,000 or something like that, right? So maybe I only want them to have 30 and 0. And then we've got this thing up below saying linked parameters. So is this going to drive anything else? Yes, it is. It's going to take all these other glow amounts, right, and just drag them underneath. So we add these in. And there's one more. Oh, let's just grab it. And I just want to hit update. OK, so I've got that slider built now. And if you want to, we could add the text. So whatever's written in here, that's going to be captured as well. So we can rename that, like line 1. OK, we'll grab another one, line 2. Right. I think that's as far as I'm going to go now, because we just want to show, the thing that I wanted to talk about. But you could go much further. Let's just rename the group. We can call this controls. OK. And in the details tab, you can choose what type it is, and then put your name, and the description, and give it some tags. So text, motion, whatever you want. And then we'll create it. So it's going to create it here, and I'm just going to call this demo. Save. It's been successfully created. It's now populated here, which allows me to go in and edit it and do some other bits if I want to. But I can also use it now. So in my little test comp here, we have it right here. Now, what I should have done is, instead of being on this frame, I should have gone to somewhere like this, a bit more meaningful, because whatever frame you're parked on, when you create the capsule, will become the thumbnail, right? And there's, I think there's support for live thumbnails and things like that as well. But so that's why it's just a little plus there. So I'm going to apply this, okay? And then I'm going to edit. And if we look, if I just look at the glow, I'm just changing one slider and it's controlling all of them. So, and it's always up to that limit that I've just set there. So we can allow the user to not necessarily, well, they can still have their freedom, but they're not going to break the design. So yeah, then anything like this can be changed. Is fun. Yeah. Cheesy, but it is. There we go. And then that'll just propagate. That'll just happen. So we've got that lovely stuff. All right. So I'm going to talk about the first capsule that I built. I wanted to do something using a few different elements. So it's like a simple call to action that you could put on a website, like a social media thing or something like that. And I wanted it to have a fair amount of customization, some sort of toggle switches to do clever things, and just test out a few of the different capabilities. So let's have a look at it. So there it is. It's just something that you'd see all the time on YouTube, right? Something that I think could be quite useful as a capsule. And so from here, I thought, well, let's just have some fun with the new presets and just go crazy. So yeah, some of them are over the top, and that's on purpose, but just to see that you can go crazy. So as you can see, there's a load of different colorways that you could use. You could put this, make it, brand it however you want. Do you want the stroke or no stroke? Glow, no glow, funky line or a solid color, whatever. Let's take a look at it, and I'll walk you through it there. I'm going to make a new project. We don't need to save this. And I'll make a new comp. And from the category over here, let's find it. And I'll just apply this call to action. All right, so we have it here. And if we come into edit, these are like global controls, so we could reposition this, have it come in, like maybe 900, like whatever. So it can just come in at the bottom, or you're obviously free to move it around within After Effects as well. But just having these controls is a bit more like you can just do it within Studio. Scale it up, scale it down. We could do some rotation to it. Maybe you'd want to do that. I don't know. But it's there if you wanted to. And again, you could probably set up some slider limits. Now, one thing I haven't shown you yet is, look, you can actually keyframe properties here. So if we were so inclined, we could keyframe the rotation and then come over a few frames, maybe when it changes, and we'll just set that back to 0. And then when we play through, we'll just let it play through a bit. And it's going to do a bit of animation from within Studio. So there we go. Whoop. OK. So I could change the text here. Maybe it says get notified. We could adjust the scale of this text if it's too long, if the message is too long. If we want a stroke or no stroke, have the glow or no glow, and a solid color which then we could change. Maybe it's like a purple. OK. So like so. And then maybe we want the same or a darker purple or something different for here, which is cool. So then we can always have this like as a preset if we want. So I could save this and just call it purple. All right, and then if I wanted to, I can show you another one that was back to a default one. That's positioned down here as well. Okay, and then we like our other one instead, so let's go back there. So super flexible, and yeah, hopefully, I mean, maybe this will make it into the discovery panel here, and you might be using it. Who knows? We'll see. So let's come back to my presentation here. So coming back to this initial talk, now that we know what Studio is and what we can do with it, I've got this.